Tell them run it all.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody in the house? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it all. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it all. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it all. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it all.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, thank you for answering the door. You guys available on July 1st? Yeah, we're available. Do you have a brochure I can take a look at? Here you go. This all looks good. Can you send me out a contract? Here's your contract. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, see here. Just go ahead and sign it and send it in your deposit. Okay. Are you gonna sign it? If you need to take some time, go ahead. Just send it in when you're ready. All right, thank you. Hey, sorry I took a little while, but I'm finally ready to sign the contract. So if you can just send me. Yeah, we are no longer available for that date. You're not available? Sorry. Well, can you recommend another DJ? What is going on? What is going on? It is Tech, the Cleveland Terry show. We'll figure out exactly what we want to call it at some point. But it is the Cleveland Terry show. It is Thursday. What's the date today? Today is August 15th. Month is halfway over already. It is starting to fly, and I am glad. Well, so you know, I'm sort of glad to be here today. No, thank you guys for all hanging out today. I appreciate you all. Today we're gonna talk about. It's been 2 weeks since I've been on, so we should have a lot of stuff to talk about. The first thing I don't have is my comment section up. I should probably get that going real quick here, so we're all on the same page. Totally forgot about that. It's been a minute since it has been a minute since I've actually even been on this computer. Not gonna lie. You know, I've been traveling a little bit. I had my 20th anniversary. So I've been doing a lot. Hold on, let me just get this comment section up so I can see what's going on here. We're not going to download a new version right now. Just going to get rid of all of this stuff. All right, there we go. Activate. There's my chat section. All right, and there we go. Okay, perfect. Wow, a little break goes a long way. Because I don't know, before today, and before, you know, the couple of things that I did last month, was I just like done, just so burnt out. So I'm glad to have had a little time off. The last 2 weeks, where were we? I guess 2 weeks ago, that was August 1st. That was my anniversary. And my wife and I went to Disneyland for the day. It was just myself and the wife. No children. I mean, there are children everywhere, but if they're not yours, it doesn't matter as much. So we just hung out all day. From like, I don't know when we got there. I think we got there at around 11:30. And then we were there till practically midnight. So we had a great time. It was fun to be away. besides that, and then the following week I was in Atlantic City. So that was the hardest part of the whole anniversary thing because, well, our anniversary was on Thursday, but then I had an event in the Bay Area. So Friday, I drove. Sorry, my neck's killing me. Friday, I drove to the Bay with the crew, and we were there until Sunday. So I got home on Sunday. We left at like 7 in the morning. We never leave that early, but one of our people was flying to Italy for an event, so we dropped her off at the airport, and then she took off. So we got home at like 11:30. I think I was home by noon, which is like, never happens. So I was able to hang out a little bit with the family, although they had their own plans, so I didn't really see them as much. And then I had to catch a flight. My flight was at 12:59 a.m. Sunday, or I guess technically Monday morning. So I interestingly enough, that was the same weekend where there were all the hurricanes, I guess, on the East Coast. And for the first time in my life, I got there and there was like 10 flights canceled. Mine wasn't. I was the one that was able to just go and get on my plane. That never happens to me. I'm always the cancelee. Cancelee? Yeah. Anyway, so I have to take a red eye. Now, as I've said before, I don't know if you guys are aware, but as I said before, the problem with getting to Atlantic City is there are no direct flights to Atlanta. I mean, there's one direct flight to Atlantic City. Actually, you know what I didn't check? I didn't check Southwest. I'll check Southwest next time. But the only one, when I'm booking through Orbitz and I'm booking all my stuff, the only airline that goes direct is Spirit. And I won't fly Spirit. Specifically, I won't fly Spirit for a 5-hour flight. That's insane. No, thank you. So, I mean, if I had to, get on real quick and I was going to Vegas and I just needed a quick flight, yeah, I would take Spirit. That's the equivalent of taking a city bus, in my opinion. But yeah, no. So I fly into Philadelphia and, which is interesting because I flew into Philadelphia this time. So I got in at 9 o'clock Eastern time, and I'm coming off the plane. I get on the train, and then we get to the Philadelphia train station, and I'm walking up, and who do I run into? Justin, the DJ. So he was my running mate for a little bit. It's the one thing I will say, especially in the morning. You've been flying, it's early day. You never know what to expect from people until they have a chance to like fully wake up. So, I said, what's up? He said, what's up? We were walking and then we kind of like separated paths, which was actually a good thing because we were riding the same train to get into Atlantic City. But I went into a car because I was exhausted. I was going to go back to sleep. So, I wasn't one that was like, oh, let's hang out, let's chat, blah, blah, blah. And I never try to push anything. So I went to sleep. Then we got off the train, which I come to find out there is a transit that will take you from the train to right behind, I don't know, Hard Rock, somewhere right behind Hard Rock. So we took the long train in, hung out. Justin's a cool guy. We chatted it up a little bit, and then we started it up. That was my flight in. You guys know the rest because, well, you were hopefully following some of my live streams, which are not the best in that room. What I'm going to do next time, I have an idea, is I'm going to put I'm actually going to take my cell card out of my iPad and I'm going to try to get in there. I ran out of time. I didn't have one of those little clips. So I'm going to put it in there and see if that improves the speed. Oh, sorry, G Kenny. That sucks. Yeah. So I'm going to try to, improve the connectivity. Even though I'm not even sure, because it seems to like have problems every, like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. But it is in a very specific area of it. So we'll see. Anyway, that's got to be the only way. All right. So let's check the room real quick and see who's in the room. We got G Kenny, we got Callow, Lance Jackson, Keith Just. Who else we got in here? Cole Cut, James King, Angelo. I know there are more, but they're not showing up on my thing here. There we go. Sensei. I just called him Sensei. Sean Sakai. V Squared, Jeff One, Randall, Philip Tan in the building. What is going on? Mac Joseph. Oh, Mac Joseph. I almost called you, Mac. Have you heard? Senior says, have you heard anything about a new Pioneer controller named XDJAZ? I don't know. Have you? Let me know. Obviously, I have an NDA with most of the manufacturers out there, but Pioneer DJ Alpha Theta is one of them. So even if I knew something or didn't know anything, I couldn't say anything. So your guess is as good as mine. And to be fair, I know honesty, I wouldn't know, even if I had seen a product right in front of my face, what it's called. I've seen tons of products. I don't know what things are called, or at least I don't remember. I don't write them down and, try to walk away with them. So I have no idea. I'm not that guy. It'd be kind of weird if I was, looking at all this stuff and I'm like, oh, let me take a picture. Let me put some, like, that's too much. You have to be nonchalant about seeing new stuff. All right, let's see here. What is good? Let me open this up. All right. So today, as always, this is still, the Cleveland Terry Show. We talk about a little bit of everything, but we also do talk about tech, and we do try to answer any questions that you may have throughout your travels of being a DJ, whether it be mobile or business, whatever you need. It is interesting though. So if you guys didn't know, first things first, Algorithm DJ has updated their app to allow for the Rain Performer, and it operates pretty perfectly. In all honesty, like, I was super impressed. I thought that I wouldn't be able to test the Performer with DJ during my kind of review period, and it looks like I'm going to be able to. I have to swap some things out on the system to make it work, but it looks like I'll be able to with the Danny Max booth. It sounds to me like DJ has got the idea, so to speak. I know I'm not the only one that complains about things that DJ does. I know that. I know that they had plenty of people in their community that had stuff to say. But I was the only one that made it known. Now, I'm not patting myself on the back or anything like that, because trust me when I tell you, tons of avid DJ supporters did not like my video. How dare you? You don't really know what you're talking about. Oh, if this does this or this does that. So just remember that. And I had said to them, I'm not doing this for me. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, oh, well, this is class compliant and this is not, and there's a difference. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm not doing this for me. It doesn't matter to me, in all honesty. Like if DJ, you know, look, when it's all said and done, if they were like, we're no longer going to make DJ equipment anymore, I would be okay. I'm not locked into any one piece of software. It doesn't matter to me. But I sit on here and I'm on the forums and all these things, and I see people complaining about things. And every time I open it up, I'm like, this is a cool program, but there's a lot of, this is a cool program. But so when I made the video, it was to bring more awareness to the troubles of the program. And a lot of times companies don't want to improve things until you put them on blast, and respectfully put them on blast, obviously. And a lot of people, were criticizing me about that. I do know that the people that matter in DJ contacted me and were like, yeah, there's some things that we're working on. We are aware of this. We're trying to get it out. So, sometimes people try to make me out to be the bad guy, and it's always just to help the community. Always. That's the way it works. If there's a problem in your business and nobody ever tells you, how do you know if it's a problem? What if what if all of your equipment was good quality equipment, and all worked out, people, it was like top of the line stuff you bought. And what if you didn't realize that your hardware, all your stuff, your front board, everything was dirty as hell? There was dust on it, stains in the bottoms, whatever, and you just never noticed them, right? If nobody ever tells you, you think everything's fine. Meanwhile, you're potentially losing business. There are people talking behind your back, making fun of you, and you're just going on with your business thinking everything's okay. But what if that guy comes up to you and is like, hey man, I just got to tell you, you're a great DJ, but your setup is shitty. You got stains over here. You got dirt on here. I wouldn't book you if this is the equipment you're going to bring to my party. Now, you're going to take offense to it a little bit. You're going to be a little butthurt at first, but then you're going to think and go, that guy could have just told everybody the things, but instead he told me. So I have an opportunity to fix them. That's the way I look at things. So a lot of times people just don't know. They don't. They really don't. And you have to make them aware. Jay told me my setup was shitting because of my gig bar. So to be fair, yeah, Jay Book does not like gig bars. He does not like them. And hey, more power to him. I have settled on the fact that while the gig bars aren't the best looking things out there, they are very functional. And if you can put them on a flex stand or a gravity stand, I think they're fine. I didn't like the original gig bar because I just didn't think it was bright enough. Like that was really my biggest deal because, once you're in there and the lights are off, hey, people don't see things as much. But I don't know, with my tuxedo look, with my white furniture, my black QSCs or my black LDs, and the gig bar Move ILS, with my stands with the black movers on there, it all comes together. It's clean, but again, still, look, we all know, DJing is a compromise. Okay. Everything we bring is a compromise. What will fit in the vehicle, what you can and can't lift on your own, just all the things that we do, they're compromises. So, I'm totally prepared, and maybe this is an age thing. It's an age thing. It's a body thing. It's a physical thing where, I just don't want to be having to deal with things that are awkward. Things are going to make me pull something or strain something. Like right now, like my shoulder, my rotator cuff is finally now getting to a point where it's feeling better. I hurt my rotator cuff. I mean, I've heard it before, but it came back, it flared back up. I don't know, June, May, somewhere around there. And I've been dealing with this thing throughout the entire vacation. You know, I had to bring my shoulder brace to kind of hold it in, just to kind of stop using it. I swam in the ocean in Hawaii. That definitely put that thing on, had a little problem. But you know, it took a while. So I'm just not at that, I'm not at that point in life, you know, still in my 40s, at least this year. I'm not in that place in life where I feel like I can just, ow, and recover. Like there's no recovering now. Right now, I got this shoulder thing. It's finally getting better, right? I still feel it, but it's getting better. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, before Atlantic City. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I have this little wrist thing every so often. Injured that right in here. It's not healed yet. It's still there. So now I got a brace on here. I got a brace on here. I am old, man. Funny thing is, I don't feel old. I don't feel aged out, but your body's like, yeah, you are. I know your mind's cool, but your body's getting jacked. So I have decided I'm just going to I got to take it easy. You know, I got roadies coming up to set up my own stuff. It's time to start thinking smarter. My son can do all that heavy lifting. He's 18. Yeah, not me though. Okay, let's see here. Philip says, did you get a chance to check out any of the new ILS products from Chauvet? I did. I have a video. I just haven't put it out yet. One of the reasons why I didn't put it out is because I was loud in there. But Jeff, who I normally interview, because he's like the guy knowledgeable about all the products, I went to review with him, and then it was so loud, the main stage was going on, that we pushed it to the next day. Next day, he had left. So, yes, I did see the ILS stuff. In fact, let's see here if I can do this without destroying my life. Video. It is very possible that I did not pull all the video in. I did not. Okay. So, yeah, I'm still shooting that video. However, they have a couple of new products. One thing is, yes, as Philip was saying, the gig bar bridge. It's an interesting thing. It's funny because, hold on, I'm pulling it up. Okay. Let's go to Chauvet instead. Okay. Let's see. They don't have it on their front page. Interesting. I would not have thought that. Okay. Let's go to ILS. Why do they have a section for ILS and a section for the gig bar? All right. All right, buddy. Okay, let's see here. One, two, three. Okay. Where is my thing? Why the hell am I so big? There we go. That's better. That was weird. Okay. All right. So, yeah, a few things that came out. Obviously, the first thing and the most important thing is this gig bar ILS. Now, essentially, okay, so it is RGB. Good. I was concerned about that. Let's make it a little bigger so I can read the damn thing. 2-in-1 lighting system, minimum setup thanks to its moving heads. Minimum setup time thanks to its moving heads and washes that come pre-mounted onto a single bar. ILS compatibility makes it great. Fixture, easy as 1, 2, 3. Okay. And let's take a look at, first off, I will say this. So apparently these are 70 watt movers. I don't know if they are all 70 watt or if they're 35 and 35. We'll check the specs right now. But the most important thing about these is, well, obviously you can connect them you can put them on a pole, or you can, attach them hanging wise, or like on a T-bar or a cross truss, or this guy right here. So this is actually a connecting piece. Can't get any bigger than that. Pause. This is a connecting piece. So you can actually put more than one on here, which is actually very, very cool. Let's see if they have any specs. All right. I don't know how many you can connect together, but I do know that you can, but I'm not sure how many. It looks like this is just the end, and then you can only do it on one side going out, because here's your power bridge here. So it'll be interesting to find out how many you can do. All right, so there's 1, 2, and at least 3. Okay. I mean, obviously there's got to be a power situation where, you typically speaking, fixture wise, 3 or 4 is like the maximum that you can do. Okay. Here we go. Okay. 2-in-1. Hi, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Quickly and securely connect multiple fixtures with the built-in locking system, which I do appreciate. Built-in DeFi, as it should be, because it's ILS. Safely mounts on truss or blah, blah, blah. Okay, totem mode keeps them. Yeah. Okay, so 3, 16, or 46. Why do they need 46 DMX channels? It doesn't make sense, because there's only, so there's 4 RGB washes here. I'm assuming that these are all operating on their own channel. So that's 4. You got the light, 5 and 6. You got a prism, probably 7. You got the lighting itself. I'm never sure why they use so many channels. 46 channels, it's just unnecessary. Like for the gig bar, I got it. There was just so many other things. But for 2 movers and 4 washes, just don't feel like you need 46 channels. That's crazy. Okay. 8 units, 18 pounds. Okay. So that's not bad. All right. 1 LED, cool white. Okay. So it's a 70 watt. Okay. All right. So it's white LED. So just like what's on the free spot. Life expectancy, don't care. 4 LEDs, hex color. Okay, so it comes with hex and UV. Finally, they opt for, what people actually want. Finally. All right, then we have don't care. 38, beam angle 22. That's just normal. I'm actually surprised that oh look, they have the flex down in white now. Son of a bitch. I'm actually surprised, in all honesty, that this is not battery powered. I'm actually surprised about that. I have a feeling, Kenny, that it's not possible. I have a feeling. Sorry, I'm hearing somebody come in when my son already said bye. I have a feeling that, yeah, nobody's coming out with 100-watt movers that are that are smaller. Every one of them is like 70 or even tops. Like I think 75 was like the highest. So I'm not sure that that's possible. Let's see. 6 movers is one incorrect. It sounds great. Having to raise 2 tripods at each end of full height simultaneous. Yeah, that's true. Very true. I mean, it would be interesting. And I would wonder that if you were to do 3, could you get away with using just 2 tripods instead of 3? Instead of 3, I wonder if that would be possible. I'd need to see them together because right now they're just hanging. Okay, let's see here. Roland says, we'll get back to that in a minute. I got a Rain 4 2 weeks ago and I love it, but I have been seeing a lot of really good reviews on the Performer. Now I want it. I don't know what to do. I'm not a moving platter guy. Okay, easy enough. Roland, if you're not a moving platter guy, then don't get moving platters. I mean, when it's all said and done, the Rain 4 or the Rain Performer is just a updated Rain 4. With the inclusion of the moving platters. There are certain things that were fixed in the Performer versus the Rain 4, but most people, I think it's negligible. So if you're not a moving platter guy, don't get moving platters. All right, let's see here. What's up with the short teaser for the Rain Performer working with DJ Pro? It wasn't a teaser. It was the Rain Performer working with the DJ Pro. I was notifying everybody because there's a lot of people that use the Performer or that use DJ that have been waiting for this to come out. So that's it. I post on my socials. Yeah, but it's not a secret. They released it. It's not a beta. It's their last update included the Rain Performer. So anybody that's got a Rain Performer, use it. I'm more impressed, in all honesty. And I mean, clearly, it's not necessarily a DJ versus Rain because Virtual DJ has the waveforms too. It's just whatever Rain decided for their core BIOS to allow for the wave files. It's one of those things. I wasn't sure for the longest time whether it was possible. Because nobody was doing it. Now, of course, Pioneer DJ was like the first to come out with pretty much, real screens on controllers. It'll be interesting to see if it's even possible with the Rev 7 or the Flex 10 or anything like that, if it's even possible to add the waveforms in. It could be a limitation of Pioneer DJ. I'm not sure, and I haven't called or asked to verify, but it's very interesting. So that's a big deal. Now, of course, I will say this. I don't need the waveforms inside. I just needed something inside. Now, with my Rev 7, Pioneer DJ allows you to put your logo in. That's more than enough for me to have my logo in. In fact, I would almost say that I prefer the logo over the waveforms because I typically put a marker on my jogs anyway, for moving jogs, since the ticker inside doesn't correlate with the actual moving platters. Because if you guys don't know this, once you set your cue point, the cue points are always at 12 o'clock. So if your moving platter is rotating, right, and your markers say here, and it's rotating, if you hit 12, your marker's still going to remain wherever it's rotating, but inside on the screen, your marker is set to 12 o'clock. So I kind of stopped even using that. I just refer to my markers now. It's just easier, especially if you're doing like beat juggles or anything like that. But is there a way to have Stimmy Q on the Rain 1? With what software, Barry? With what software? Chris just says Bridge ILS is a game changer for the haters. Is it a game changer though? That's a little extreme. I mean, it's exactly what we knew they were going to do. I don't know that I would call it a game changer. What I would say is, I got my watch band is magnetic. I got to find another place for my ATEM. What I would say is, how do I get myself back? There we go. What I would say is that this is very reminiscent of the Spot 150 Duo. It's just a better version. I don't know if you guys remember the Spot 50. Hold on. Click off. Why won't you click off? My comments are stuck. My comments are stuck. Interesting. Let's try to clear this off. Hold on. How do I clear? Huh. This. I don't know. This is interesting. All right, let's see if I can just get rid of it from this side. Hold on. What is this thing called? Social Ninja. Okay, I can. If I refresh this thing, it's going to have a problem. I'm going to lose all the comments. I'm not going to refresh it. Okay, so let's go to, hold on. Do they even still make it? Movers here. You can see what I'm doing, so it doesn't look, I don't look crazy. This is terrible. Okay, it's just terrible. All right, here we go. Intimidator Spot Duo. That's all this is. Like, legitimately, that's all this is a bigger version of this guy right here. Discontinued since 2020. Let's remove it and then put it back a little better. And, this one, God, everything's always in the dark of night. So, of course, it's going to look remotely okay. Let's see here. Okay. Specifications. 2 LEDs, 32 watts. Yeah, but that's all this is. Legitimately. It even has, look, hole so you can mount through, or you can clamp them to the top. It's the same thing. But look, whatever. People are allowed to make the changes and to do all the things. I'm not complaining about that. But I'm at a point. I know I was talking about. I wish it were battery powered, and I know that would add weight to it. But I'm okay with that. I'd rather have a little weight and not have to stress over power outages. You know, hopefully you guys are following me on all my socials. If you're not, Cleveland Terry _ for IG, and then Cleveland Terry for everything else. Battery powered has saved my life a couple of times now. Just having the option of going battery powered, even if it's just for a few minutes, it's one of those things where I think they're needed. Yes, obviously you can get yourself a Jackery, you can get yourself all kinds of battery powered stuff. So I'm not saying that that's not a thing, but I don't know, just having it just in the system just makes it easy. The wireless, the whole point of ILS to me, and why, even though I don't love ILS, like I don't love their movers, I don't love their the designs, it's the ease of use that sells me every time. What I mean is, once I charge my movers, when I get to the venue, I legitimately just pop a mover on my stand and I'm done. Like there's no, if I'm using ILS, the command ILS, bam, they work. I don't love the command ILS. I don't love it at all. But it is functional at best. But no, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I still have to do the review on it. I have to open it back up because the thing about the command is they keep adding new features in, but they're always like, first off, they don't do a good job of telling you when there's an update for Chauvet. They never do a good job of telling you that. And once you do that, they never do a good job. They never do a good job of letting you know. Like even on their videos, they don't even show you videos. Hey, there's a new update. Let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how to blah, blah, blah. Because one of the biggest frustrations with Chauvet specifically, this is why they don't send me product, is that, along with that fact. So when I have the free spots, the ILS, okay, I got the Chauvet Command Center, and I'm reviewing the free spots, but in my comment section, there are people like, oh no, you can do that now. You can do that. It's got gobos. You can blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? I go to their website. I go to, this one right here that I'm on. And I go to the product, and so let's say I go to ILS, and then I go to my mover, the free spot. And for the longest time, there was a support at the bottom, downloads, right? And there was nothing here at all. There was nothing there. So I'm like, I don't see anything. Turns out I had to go to one of those open source platforms that are like the database of all the software, to go to there to pull it out. It was annoying. It was annoying. Now I'm curious to see enter your address to get instant access to download. Okay, fine. All right, submit. And where are they taking me? So they're still taking me to GitHub. Yeah. So, GitHub is where it is. Now, let's just see for a second here. Okay. So this was updated 4 months ago. So it looks like they haven't changed anything on this one. But here's the thing. Corrected battery indicator issue, updated DMX values for gobos, and added prism and gobo rotation. So it looks like I'm on the most current one. Okay, so here's the thing. What they didn't tell you is, even for the spot, and I'm going, okay, how do I do the moving spot on the command ILS? I don't see it anywhere. Nowhere to be found. No videos, nothing. And then it comes to find out that the spot mechanism for the free spot you have to turn it on in the settings. You don't have to turn them on the gig bar, but for whatever reason, you have to update. You have to update to add Prism to the free spot. I don't understand how that even works. Why would I need to update the mover so that the command ILS could activate the... Anyway, so they don't do a good job of that. And that's very, very frustrating. Okay, let's see here. All right, Menace says, obviously I can't... Let's see if Social Ninjas is still doing it. Yep. Maybe I can reset it. I'm not going to reset it. That's dangerous. Okay. Menace says, have you been able to do a review on the Maestro? No, I just got the Maestro. And I can't do a review on the Maestro yet because I need to use it in real life. I don't do reviews on products in general that I don't take out with me. So I had my meeting, my first kind of training session with the, I guess, the CEO. And I'm assuming it's a small company, but I had a meeting with him yesterday to kind of go over just the fundamentals of it. It'll be interesting because it's like, you know, as a new product, it's kind of it's like two giant steps forward, but then there's like, you know, little steps back. I mean, the fact that it's, the fact that it has a browser for the controller and that you connect via, obviously you can connect via Wi-Fi, you can connect via Ethernet, which is probably the best, possible solution, or you can do a direct Wi-Fi if you have like an iPad. I have an iPad, so it makes it easy. And then, you know, you have access to all of your settings and the ability to add to your system. That, even though it's not a big deal, always concerns me a little bit. I have pain points from what was the program? What was the program called? I can't think of the program. Anyway, it's the it was the iPad. ADJ came out with their own version of it. What is that thing called? Something Go? It wasn't ADJ. ADJ Go, something like that. Anyway, you know their little controller system, and then Light Rider. And when I first purchased Light Rider, this was before American DJ ever came out with their things. And in order to use it wirelessly, you had to buy ArcNet. That was the only way to activate your DMX, your wireless DMX. And then the only ones they were even telling people to buy was the ADJ button, the ADJ box, which I might even still have here. I must have moved it. But I do have the Chauvet one that's still sitting there. Anyway, okay, so in order to connect, you had to get on the ADJ hotspot for it, the Airstream. Thank you very much, Matthew. The Airstream. And every so often, the Airstream would just disconnect. And then your lights would just stop working. And then you'd have to reset the Air Connect and try to log back in. And now it doesn't remember your password. And you have to log back in again. And then you have to turn off your fixtures and turn it back on again. You got to wait. You got to log back in. You got to power it down. You got to power it up. You got to do all this bullshit to hopefully get it to work again. And that was a problem. You know, that was a problem. So I have these like recurring nightmares when I was going through it yesterday, like, oh God, Is this thing going to disconnect on me in the middle of a thing? Like I can't have that, you know? So a little bit of a two steps back. You know, I think now that they're adding the ability to do like, you know, MIDI and things like that. I haven't gotten to that part yet. I just got to this one part. The one thing I will say, and they're fixing it. So this isn't a slight to them, but it's also why there won't be a review until I see this. But the one thing that I did, the one difficult thing that they're fixing right now, they're aware of it, is they only technically have one scene. Now, you know, the system is designed, you throw as many fixtures as you want on it, and it's going to do its thing. But what if, what if you want to put a whitewash on the dance floor for a first dance? Or what if, you know, people are speaking and you want to throw your movers up to the ceiling to whiten the ceiling so they can read their notes? Or what if you got your uplights around the room and those are included on there too, and then it's time for dinner and you need to go and have, you know, your fixtures and stuff stop at a certain point? Okay, have your uplights, you know, at a specific color, and have your movers so they're not shining in people's eyes or moving around crazy, you know. But maybe you want them on, but you just don't want them moving around. And meanwhile, you know, we're still DJing. You know, you don't stop DJing when food's served. You're still DJing. So the whole point of the Maestro is it's receiving audio into its system. Here, let me get it for you. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the only input that you have here, let me see if I can back. There we go. The only input that you have is your RCA inputs. I'm not sure if they have another way, because there are, you know, two USBs on the back here. And one, get it on my face. There we go. One is for your Wi-Fi card. And then the other one is for technically whatever. And then you have your Ethernet port right here. And then your USB-C power. Again, on the front side, you only have the one RCA. And then you only have one universe out, just DMX out. And then this is a little indicator right here, which I had no idea until I plugged it in. Yeah, so one DMX out. Mech Mix says for dinner first dance. That's not what he told me yesterday. He said that there was only one. So if I have my mover on the dance floor and I want to put it on grand entrance, he said that wasn't possible. So I don't know. Again, Mech Mix, I'm not arguing with you. I just talked to the boss. So either he doesn't know, or there was just a miscommunication. But that's what he told me literally yesterday. So I'm not sure exactly what's happening. But if you say it works, great. I haven't dived in enough to give that. And I'm just trying to explain too. I'm not angry. It's not a big deal to me. No arguing. Okay. Anyway, like I said, the reason that I haven't done a review yet is because I have not really used it. That's my whole point. That's the purpose I was saying. Which is why I don't do reviews without using a product, like consistently for a little while. That way I can give an actual proper educated review. That's the whole point. So right now I'm just going off of what he said. If you say you can do it, then it can be done. Where is it? But the browser, SoundSwitch is still my go-to. Well, the funny thing is, I haven't even been using SoundSwitch Jeff One. I've been using WMX. One of the things I don't necessarily need a lot. I don't need a lot from my lights. Okay. I need them to move where I need them to move. I need them to stay in the box that I put them in and don't go crazy. I don't need them shining in people's faces. And, so there's very little things that I need. All right. And I need the colors to match and all those little things, but basic things. So the WMX has always been good to me because it has routines, and the routines just work, for the most part. All of the software out there, all of them. Okay. And Mix says it's just not plug and play like they're claiming. Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. Just from the whole searching through their database, which could use a little work. But neither here nor there. If this were, and I know Maestro was trying to be the end all for all the fixtures, and anytime you try to be the end all for everything, this is where you run into problems. For instance, Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft says, "Hey, we're a software company. We're on every single person's computer, and it works on everything." And then you find out, oh, my computer, it glitches or it does this or does that. Oh, well, that's because of that particular hardware, and they have to do this in order to fix it. So it will work with us, but we work with everything. That's the implication I'm getting with Maestro. But the problem is when you have multiple sources of hardware, it's harder to stay up on it. Kind of like Algorithm DJ. When there's new equipment, they're like, oh my God, we got to get this equipment. We got to get this thing mapped quickly before people start to riot on us. So, if you're using an Ape Labs product, right? Everything's made in-house. If you're using an ILS product, everything's made in-house. So it's gonna work together, plug and play. There's no questions. There's no, there's nothing. It's just gonna work. And that's the difference when you're trying to be an all-encompassing thing. It's harder. It's just harder. I'm sure they're gonna work it out. It sounds like they're pushing along and trying to do it, but we'll see. I'm gonna use it first this week. With the gig bar, because that's all I'm bringing to this party. I might bring the movers too. I'm not really sure just yet, but either way, I'm bringing something. Either way, I'm leaving with something. So either way, I'm bringing those two things. So I'll probably bring, the ILS. One of the things I wish you did have two DMX outs. I do wish that. One is fine, but I wish it had two. And I hope, I'm not sure. I hope there's a way to have it run its program, even if it doesn't detect a transient audio source. Anyway, that's it. And Jeff One, that is not how you spell Cleveland. So SoundSwitch. So I've not actually used SoundSwitch in a while. Every so often they come up with updates and they send them to me, and I know I have to update them. I have because of the way I got SoundSwitch, it's hard for me to update. It's weird. It doesn't want to update properly. It's very inconvenient and inconsistent for me. But I have a SoundSwitch right there. I'm looking at it, and I have a feeling that if there's any competition for Maestro, it's SoundSwitch, because I think those are the two closest ones that are together. Those are the two that kind of do very similar things. So I think it's SoundSwitch versus Maestro versus WMX versus Maestro or versus SoundSwitch, in all honesty. And I think there's an update that I need to check out anyway from SoundSwitch. So I'll check that out too. Hey, look, the bottom line here is that, as I've said before, we are in a very good place as DJs. There are so many options, so many ways to make things work and to make things work in your workflow. Like, you know, if Maestro is the end all, and it may be, you know, a couple of updates, it might be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not sure yet because I haven't reviewed it. My DMX Go, your thoughts quickly. I already said my thoughts on my DMX Go. Home team, where were you a minute ago? I literally was just talking about my DMX Go in my issues with it. My DMX Go is a copy over of Light Rider, and Light Rider as an app is still one of my favorite apps. Okay, in all honesty, the problem with Light Rider / my DMX Go was the connection. That's the problem. The connections. It just was inconsistent. So I had to move away from it. DJ Scal says, do you think Wolfmix will add in the next update a way to create or select program shows following the genre of music? Well, I don't think they care about the genre of music. I would just say following the beats is more likely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that they care to do that. In all honesty, I think they're trying to go out and be something different. Now, if they could make one, because WMX is almost there. If they could just make some routines, some like AI routines that you could just hit a button and turn them on, almost like a set it and forget it, like walk away, like, okay, just do your thing. I don't want to press any buttons right now. I think that would be amazing. I think it would be amazing. I'm just not sure. At the speed, I mean, like the which I own. I have both of them. The 80J WMX versus just the WMX, the Wolfmix WMX. Their last update came with a USB input. So who knows if this is what they even care about. And remember, American DJ is not, they're just licensing it. They're not actually doing anything. So what you're going to deal with is they're at the mercy of Wolfmix. Manga says, I think this is a question, or is he answering this? Better to have a $16.99 max out MacBook. How do you get a $16.99 maxed out MacBook? Wherever you're buying from, I'd like to know. M Pro chip, 16 gigs. Okay, so that's not maxed out. And 512 gigs. That's not maxed out. Okay, with basic Flex 4 controller or a basic 8 gig 256 MacBook M3. Must be talking about the Air. $849. And there's a lot of numbers here. And 1,099 Ref 5 or dinner. What is going on here? there's a lot of stuff in here. Okay. Philip Tan just said 16 gigs, 512. I don't love 512. I always tell DJs at least get a terabyte. You know, it'll cost you a little more, but it's going to save you in the long run. But 8 gigs, definitely not a good thing for future proofing. Even 16 is the minimum for me. So I would not get an 8 gig. I would not get a 256 gigabyte anything. Also, that's an iPad. I mean, even my iPhone is 512. I just think that you're setting yourself up for failure. You're going to end up having to buy a new computer faster than you ever anticipated. So stick with the top one, pay the money, and call it a day. Now, again, the computer has nothing to do with the controller. Okay, nothing to do with the controller. So don't worry about that part. The question is, do you prefer the Flex 4 or the Rev 5 or the Denon Prime Go, which are just three completely different hardware, completely different, all of them. Flex 4 is basic. It's your entry level controller. It's a great controller, but it's lacking on several things if you want to use that from a mobile DJ perspective. But it's a great controller to have. It's a great backup controller. It's a great practice controller. It's not a on the fly DJ. I'm working a big ass gig and no, I would not recommend that. Out of all of the things you said, I would either choose, if this were me from a mobile gig perspective, and this is all I was using, either the Rev 5 or the Denon Prime Go. For moderate retail gigs. I don't even know what that means. Either you're doing a backyard boogie. I mean, basically, here's the thing. And a lot of these controllers, the bottom line, the cheaper you get, the worse the microphone is. And if the microphone is bad, translates into you're not using that on a premium event. Now, of course, some people are like, bro, I use a Flex 4 and then I have my mixer and my mic goes into my mixer. So my Flex, whatever. I don't care. Fine. Do your thing. But I'm saying if you're trying to do a truly legitimate, all-in-one stuff, all-in-one, you're going to need something with a better microphone. I see people take Flex 4 to gigs. I don't care that they do. I'm just telling you what the facts are. You can do whatever you want. Again, remember, I'm not your daddy. You do whatever the hell you want. If you want to rock around with the Flex 4 and do it, perfect. Enjoy. I don't care. I'm just telling people when they ask me a question, like, what is the best thing? I'm not thinking about, well, they made it work. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about what's the best option for everything that this person may want to do. Okay. Not just like, look, I got a Flex 4 right here. Right. If I'm chilling at my house, if I'm playing, in the backyard and I don't have to get on the microphone, I don't have to do this works fine. Once I have all the necessary adapters and all the things like that, okay, that's fine. But if I am a working class DJ and they're paying me money, I'm gonna buy the things that make my job easier. And having RCAs is not easy. I need stuff with XLRs. I need my microphones to have an XLR combo jack. There's, as far as the inputs on the controllers, there's just little things. Now, that's me. You do what you want. If you think you can get around with a Hercules little controller, I got one right here. If you think that you can get around and DJ professionally with one of these and a mixer and all the other stuff, and I got this and this is all I need, but I got a big ass 8-channel mixer that's sitting on the side here, which I wouldn't have to do if I just bought a better controller. But you know what? I like the mobile aspects of it. Whatever. I like to keep my bag small. Whatever. More power to you. That's not me though. That's not me. I'm not anti external mixer. I'm not. I see a reason for an external mixer. Okay. But let's be clear here. Okay. There's only 3 real reasons, maybe even 2, why you will need an external mixer. Okay. One, dedicated microphone. Okay. Like you have a controller that's just not that good. So you have a dedicated microphone. 2, what's my second one? If something happens to your controller or happens to whatever, you can pop in, another audio source, and people will not be the wiser. Okay. And then 3, it's typically a better output if a video person comes over, or they're running a montage and they need to send you a feed. A lot of these companies always want to send you out an SDI SDI adapter with like XLRs on it. So yeah, it's definitely more functional. And also the last possible thing is potentially you can get a better EQ on your system if you're not using something of value. Okay. Now again, everybody in here that's giving me their reasons why they have a mixer, I'm not saying not to have a mixer. Okay. So don't worry about me. I don't care if you use a mixer or not. My argument has always been one thing in regards to mixers and controllers. I want you guys to understand clearly what I am saying so we don't have to keep going through this, because I'm not anti-mixer. What I am is anti-controller that I just spent $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 on with shitty mic ports. That's what I'm complaining about. So if I'm spending this kind of money on a controller, the microphones better be good. The audio output better be good. Everything should be the way it's supposed to be. I absolutely use my Rev 7 mic inputs for my gigs. Absolutely. There is not a single controller that I use that has shitty microphones. Bottom line here, Rain Performer, great mic ports. Rev 7, great mic ports once you understand how to rock the gain knob, the attenuator. Denon Prime Go, not the Denon Prime Go, but sorry, I'm hearing trash cans. The Prime series, like the Prime 4, the microphones are great on it. If there are bad microphones, I'm probably not using that controller on my gigs. That's it. That's it. You know, when I had a problem with the Rain 4, I had one of the defective ones with the questionable mic ports. That was the reason. That was one of the largest reasons that I did not choose to keep the Rain 4 at the time. I know they've done some silent updates and fixed a lot of the problems that they had, but that was the main reason. I'm like, okay, first off, I'm bringing this big ass controller with me, and now I got to bring a big ass mixer too. You know, it's too much. It's too much. The controllers, the audio cards in there should be good enough. Should be good enough. Okay. Now, if I bring out a Hercules T7, I know I'm bringing a mixer with me because I know the microphones are trash. I know the audio outputs, the audio card in it is just decent at best. So I need something like that. Okay, let's see here. I got the Manga says I got the M3 Pro, 18 gigs, 512 in Viva with the Flex 4, but I'm thinking I need a more professional looking controller now for credibility's sake, at least a Rev 5. Look, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Flex 4 as a controller. Anybody, if you know how to DJ, you can rock a Flex 4. Okay. We're not saying that, but I don't care what anybody says out there. Okay. There is truth in having product that looks and feels premium to a client. Okay. If I'm a videographer, right? They hire me and I charge them, $3,000 to $4,000 to shoot their wedding or their bar mitzvah. Right. And I'm like, cool. And then I come in there and I got one of these and I got an iPhone. Okay. If they see me walking around with that, they're not going to think that they got the value, even though you could be amazing with that iPhone. And I've seen some pretty impressive iPhone videographers, some great people out there, but that's not what the client sees. The client sees, oh my God, I paid for bargain videographer and my stuff's going to turn out trash. Even if it's amazing, they will never think it's amazing. Okay. Because you're shooting on an iPhone. They can shoot on an iPhone. I mean, the whole point of you bringing the professional is to bring stuff in that they don't have. Okay, like if you're like, oh yeah, bring in a sound system, right? And then you bring in a house amplifier, with all the HDMI ports on the back, and you have a bar, like a house system, right? They're gonna be like, I could have done this myself. You're not bringing anything special to the table, but you come in and you got your custom, your LDs or your QSCs or your RCFs, and they're like, look at the size. Are these going to sound good? And you turn them on, they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize you had it like that. That's a changeover. Or you got your furniture and they come in, they're like, wow, this person does think more about what it is than just using the standard table that the hotel provides. Okay, it's not about being better, and it's not that the equipment or the hardware you use will make you a better DJ, but it will make you a better salesman or woman, salesperson. You get what I'm saying? So, because I know people that are like, I've seen them. They're like, oh my God, it's so great when I can get there and the hotel provides a table. Like, that doesn't look good, especially if you're doing a wedding, or something high end, and then you have a table with a black table, and now you got your things stacked on and cords everywhere. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. Yeah, it's a little easier for you to set up, and yeah, it's a little easier for you to break down or less to load into your truck or your SUV. That doesn't make it better. All right. Do you walk with an extra laptop when you DJ? I don't walk with an extra laptop. No, I don't bring an extra laptop. I have all-in-ones. Honestly, I have the Prime Go, but lately I've been using this guy. That just sits in my truck. In all honesty, at least until a Prime Go worthy of the Prime Go comes out, and then I'll probably switch to that. Okay. It's not complicated though. The attenuator, it's not complicated. In all honesty, I mean, every single microphone has a different gain staging. So, I always say shoot for around 12 o'clock on the attenuator. Okay. And what I would do, especially if you're like, have the same microphone, you always use the same microphone, get yourself a little pen, a white pen, and then just mark where your 12 o'clock is for that microphone, and then just leave it there. And then you can quickly eyeball it and see, oh, I need to move this a little bit. But okay, so basically very, very simple. Okay, it's because it's just gain staging. You plug in your microphone, you have your microphone audio. I always have my microphone audio on the microphone itself, not on the microphone, on the volume knob on the Ref 7. I have it at 12 o'clock. Okay. Then I try to put my attenuator at 12. Then what I do is I start mic checking. I bring the attenuator up until it starts to distort. Okay. And it's obvious when it starts to distort. So this shouldn't be an issue. When it starts to distort, you bring it back. Maybe, I don't know. It's probably, let's say if 12 o'clock was where I was at, and then I brought it to like 4 o'clock, right? And 4 o'clock is distorting. I'm probably going to bring it up to about 1 o'clock, somewhere around there. Because remember, the way you speak on a microphone, like I'm speaking right now, the way you speak on a microphone is different than the way the average person speaks on the microphone. And what you don't want is to not have any room for the volume. So once I set that the way it is, I don't have to touch that anymore. I keep my Ref 7 at 12 o'clock. That way I have a little play, because a lot of people I know turn that thing up to like maximum, and then they start messing with the attenuator. Bad idea. Okay. Keep some wiggle room, because once you set the attenuator and once it's not distorting, you can technically max out your Ref 7 knob, and you're not going to distort. Okay. Hopefully that helps. And if it does, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, become a member, send me some super chat. I'm doing all this stuff for you guys. Help me out, bros. Help me out. I got a kid at LMU. Help me out. Okay. All right. let's see here. All right. DJs on iPad. Yeah, so I do carry the DJ on iPad too. But here's the thing. This is the one thing I will say. The problem with just having DJ on your iPad, technically not a problem, because I know you can output right through the USB-C port or the Lightning port if you were to run into problems. But the biggest problem that I have with the iPad is if your controller dies. If your controller is the problem, now what do? You get what I'm saying? So yes, I know you can plug in the iPad and then, run a headphone jack out to maybe XLRs and maybe that's an option, but now you have to have your splitter and everything. So I bring a hardware piece. So if need to, I can just put that right on my furniture, pop in the XLRs and get going. And because it's an all-in-one, I still have music on there. So I'm not stressed out about the fact that, oh my God, well, what am I going to do now? And if it is the hardware and not the computer, well, I can still plug the computer in and DJ right through the Mixstream Go using Serato, using DJ, whatever I choose to use. So virtual DJ, it's all right there. So that's why I keep that. And it's small enough. I don't bring it inside. I keep it in the truck. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh my God, there's a problem. Okay. Like if there's a problem, I just go to my truck and get it real quick. I mean, it's not a big deal. Anyway. All right. All right. I agree, but to pioneer next controller, put the gain staging inside the internal settings, not a small S flag. No. Don't get it twisted. G Kenny, I don't love the attenuator. I've told everybody that works there, I don't love the attenuator. I think it's just, I understand what it is for. And it's a good thing, especially if you're dealing with really low powered microphones. That's where it comes into play. Okay. But the problem is not the knob. The problem is, to me, is the way the knob is implemented, because there's an easy solution. All right. I don't know if they want to do this. Make it with one of those knobs that you have to push in. You push it in, you set your where it is, and then you push it in and it locks in place. You don't have access to it. There's no way to rub it. It's just there. Then if you have a problem, you just do a little click and you push it in a little bit. It pops out. You can mess with the knob again, push it back in. That's all I want. They gave me that. I don't have a problem with the knob. The knob's fine. It's just in the way, and sometimes it gets moved. That's it. DJ Allen Boy with the 199 super chat. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate you on that. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Were you able to check out the baseball speakers? I know you couldn't stream live because of the Wi-Fi. I mean, I've checked them out before. Baseball has great speakers. Okay. As I've said before, Baseboss bass, the name Bass Boss, is well deserved. Their bass cabinets are some of the best I've ever heard. Okay, facts, some of the best. However, as a whole, with their highs, their design language, not the best. Okay, that's just my opinion. Everybody's different, but my opinion is it's just kind of ugly. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of ugly. And sound wise, I don't believe for my ears that the sound is as good as they believe without some real big EQing. And I feel the same way about RCF. Everybody swears by the clarity of RCF. I say the RCF needs a roll off on that high end by a lot. But listen to the clarity. I'm hearing ear bleeding, fatigue. So, but everybody's different. I just don't like sound when it's that sterile. Anyway, but their cabinets, their subs, some of the best. And Caesar is correct. They are exceptionally expensive. There's no way around that. They are expensive, but they're the only system out there where when they say a 12 sounds like a 15, they're right. And a 15 sounds like an 18, they're right. So I would buy I would almost, I mean, that compact 12 system, it's nice. It's nice sounding. It is. DJ Chef with the $20 super chat. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. What do you think about the Reloop Mixtour Pro? I think it's a Mixtour. I think it's not for me, is what I think. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got a lot of cool features. And it seems to be missing some features, in my opinion. And it seems to be geared around the DJ that created it. And for him, I'm sure it's amazing. But I think they should have made 2 versions. One for what Luke likes and one for what everybody else likes. I don't have a problem with it. And it's a cool little device to throw in your bag. It's, one less thing you have to worry about. But I mean, does it have, I think it has RCA outs. Does it even have like 1/4 inch outs? I'm not sure. It might have 1/4 inch outs, but I don't think so. If I remember correctly. Hold on. Mixtour Pro. The future of DJing. And mixing with 4 decks, up to 4 decks. Okay. But where is the output? Show me the output. Here we go. Yep. RCAs. So, I mean, that's a problem for me. I don't care if it works, but I don't want to have to walk around with RCAs. I don't want to have, 4 different adapters in my bag because I'm not sure what they're going to be using. Now, and if you're laid back Luke, and you just tell him what your rider is. So it's not a big deal, but not everybody's laid back Luke. So for all the other people, we got to bring adapters. We have to have an RCA to 1/4 inch, an RCA to RCA, an RCA to XLR, or they can just put it on. Like, that's a major flaw in my book. Major flaw. It's just dumb. I'm sorry. This is one of those things where they should have absolutely stepped up and said, no, we have to put at least 1/4 inches on there. We at least got to put a line. This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a reason that it doesn't sell as well as they hope it's going to be. Because don't call it pro if it doesn't have pro outputs. Now, this is just me. It's just an opinion. I'm not one to... It's just me. All right. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. Normally, I would be highlighting like my $1.99 super chat, but for whatever reason, I have a little bit of a crash that's frozen. I wonder if I do this. Hold on, let me just close this out real quick. Let me close out Social Stream and see if I can get it to come back. Let's see if I can refresh this, and then we're going to move on. Session, local. Let's just try to change this. Refresh cache of current page. Let's see if that'll reset it. Did I do it? There we go. Okay. Tech man. That's me. Tech Thursday. Guess you see what I'm doing. All right. Okay. What do I think about the Joe Bun desk? I'm curious how it is to install and to match the two legs with the top with full hardware loaded. Did you watch my video? I have a whole video that went out yesterday. You guys need to make sure you check the box that says be notified of all videos. You gotta hit that notification. Honestly, I feel like you guys are missing out. I got a whole video. So check it out. Okay, let's see here. Zach, starting out, I'm currently using a Maui 28G3, great speaker, for 180 to 100 people. Okay, looking to get bigger, set up for a larger crowd. LD has impressed me so far. So QSC 12 tops, 18 sub versus LD Koa 12. Okay, so I don't know anything about the tops. Okay, I don't know anything about the tops from LD as far as the iKoa line is concerned. I do know the subs are great. What I thought you were going to say for a moment was the LD44s, which we own LD44s. I don't. They're not as good as the 28G3s. Like they don't sound anywhere near as good, in my opinion. I just used them over the weekend at the wedding I was doing. They're fine, but I've said it. I keep saying it. I will continue to say it. If I still think that the QSC setup for larger parties is better. The thing about the iKoa subs are they're very, very large. So you have to have space for them. They're large for a reason. But the QSC 18s are small and compact. I would go with that. But that's just me. They're not heavy. Oh, that's a question. No, they're not heavy. They're actually pretty, it's impressive. I mean, look, they're subs, so they're going to be weighty, but I put them into my, to my truck every weekend. They've been fine. Hello, bro. I need a controller, but they're too much money. I don't know what you'd like me to offer you. I don't have anything I can just give you. But I mean, we were just talking about this guy. This is like $200, you know? I can't help but think that the Maestro box looks a lot like my old inbox. I mean, they're pretty close. I don't even know why I keep this inbox. I don't even think it can be used anymore. I think the last operating system that it worked on was Yosemite. I don't know why I keep this. It's literally just trash. But this was my this little inbox, inbox Pro, sorry, made me a lot of money. So I keep it to remind me. Anyway. Kill strong with the super chat. This is what I'm talking about. You see? I see you guys. I see you. I'm glad to help you, man. I'm glad to help you. Okay. Let's see here. I got that super chat. DJ Chef killing it too with his super chat. I appreciate you. And of course, the last one. Can I filter by? I want to filter. No, that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. And then also the 199 from which I can't get to, but it's from Callow for the super chat. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Okay. Let's go through some questions here. I just saw this, Callow, when we were talking about somebody using a table and being fine with it. And he says, at least put something in front of the table, like an LED wall. Like I'm imagining like a full on, 16:9 LED wall in front of him. Nobody sees the DJ. He's just there. That's what I'm imagining anyway. All right. Let's take a look here. How do you gain stage your PA system? Same way. You start everything starts. Sorry. Everything starts with your controller / or mixer, and then it feeds into, like, if you have a DVX, like a what do they call it, drive rack, or your subs, your highs, if you're running them independently. It starts. So first things first, make sure your controller when you turn it on, you put the song on, and you got your meters right here. Make sure your controller is not pushing in the red. First off, first things first, easy, right? Make sure it's not pushing into the red. Okay, you can bring up your levels. I like to try to keep mine at 12, but I like to keep it at 12, but I also like to be able to have a little bit of wiggle room. So mine stay probably like right below the red in the, say if it's yellow. Okay, so then I'm done with this one, and obviously you want to be testing several audio sources. Okay, if you're testing a song from Lionel Richie, and then you'd put on Daft Punk, you might have two different audio feeds going through there. Okay, so test with several. All right, once you've established that stage, then you can take it to the next stage, which is your mixer. And then you want to make sure your mixer, and obviously you want to make sure that your levels are not going into the red and distorting, because every time you introduce maybe going into the red, and this includes your Serato or your DJ, you have to make sure those levels are not in the red either, because every one of these things is adding to your distortion, your clipping. Okay. And so then once you get to your mixer, you get that level to where it's operating in the green, maybe even in the orange, whatever. But also you have to look at your speakers. Every speaker has a maximum amount of audio that it will accept in the speaker. Just because it's not in the red on your controller and your mixer doesn't mean that it's not in the red on your speakers. So you might need to bring those speakers down to where they're slightly below the red, or maybe they're bouncing off the red every 10, 12 seconds. Okay. That's okay. That's fine for most speakers out there. But in reality, you just want to keep it out of the limit. That's about it. And then walk out on the dance floor, turn the song up, turn it loud, tell everybody in the room, sorry, I got to do a sound check, turn it to the level that the crowd is going to be listening at, and stand on the dance floor. Just stand there for like 30 seconds. Walk around the dance floor. Go to one side, go to the other. Move closer, move back. Maybe walk back towards the tables. See how it sounds at the tables. Hopefully you have your microphone. Do some sound checks. Make sure your microphone is going to hit the back of those tables and it's clear. I don't know. Something like that. All right. Okay, let's see here. Flex 4 plus iPad plus battery, and you have a Denon Prime Go, and you're able to change anything if there is a problem. Flex 4 plus iPad plus battery, and you have a Denon Prime Go. True. But then why not just have a Denon Prime Go? Or if you're looking at a Flex 4 plus iPad plus battery, I mean, you are literally talking about the Mixstream GoPro. This is absolutely what we're talking about. Okay. Because the one thing about, again, as I just said, the one thing about having a Flex 4 and an iPad, and the Flex 4 specifically, is the ins and outs. They're just not that good. So you're still going to need a mixer, because if you get on the microphone, you're going to sound like trash on the Flex 4. That's just facts. But the idea is fine, especially if you're, only providing ceremony sound, and maybe, I don't know, maybe your microphones are going directly into the speaker, whatever. There's definitely an option. How are you liking Performer with DJ Pro? I do. DJ Lab, what's going on? I mean, look, I haven't used it enough to say anything. I just got it to work. I'm now going to get this thing installed into my furniture, and I will use it on Saturday. I've been using it on the Rev 7. I did test some things. It's doing what it's supposed to. And it's funny because some of the issues that I had with the Rev 7, I had to MIDI map because it lacked some of the buttons. Interestingly enough, on the Performer, because it's got so many buttons, a lot of the things that I MIDI mapped before, I don't have to MIDI map now. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. I think it's going to be just fine. We'll see though. Have I noticed any delays? I've absolutely noticed delays. That's probably one of the biggest issues that I have is there is a noticeable delay. It's one beat. It's a 1 beat delay. On DJ specifically. It doesn't do that if you're using Stem EQ, because obviously the speed at which you move the knob is kind of masking the fact that there is a delay. There is. I've learned to get around it. I've learned how to get used to it, but absolutely. Okay. Wayne says, as a mobile DJ, do I need to invest in DJ furniture? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let me be clear about this. And this is coming from a person that is the ambassador of Max Design Booths. And I actually have another video coming out of that too. But it is not for everybody. Not everybody needs one. And if you don't have one, it's not going to potentially or effectively make you lose out on clientele. Okay? Now, having said that, I think of DJ equipment and DJ furniture like cars. Okay. As long as I'm not driving a shitty car, I'm getting, stuff in the back shooting out, backfires, and my leather is all busted, and I got oxidation and rust on the car. If I have, a Honda Accord, right? Which is suburbia to the fullest. And it gets me from point A to point B. It's got nice stuff in it. It's got CarPlay, and it's got good gas mileage and good speed. I'm fine. I will have nothing to complain about. It's going to look just fine. Now, is it going to stop people on the road to have them take a look at me? Absolutely not. Right? But you're not going to get looks either way. It's just good. Now, you pick up a Range Rover, or you pick up a Porsche, or something high end, you're automatically going to get looks. Okay? And for some people, they're going to look at you in a different light because of the way you look. Still doesn't change the fact if you're a shitty driver, you're going to run that thing into a pole. If it's a Honda Accord or if it's a Porsche. Okay? So you don't need it. You don't need it. Does it help you visually? Does it help potential clients? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it will never be, in my opinion, for the most part, you might have some outliers. It will never be a make or break for a client, because typically speaking, a high-end event coordinator, high-end party planner, they assume that your equipment is shitty. It's just facts. They assume. So they bring in their own sound guy. They bring in their own rented facade that they put in front of you, so nobody sees your crappy ass equipment and it's just hitting away. They put an LED DJ wall in front of you. Like, all of these little things are designed because they don't trust you. Okay, that's just facts. Once they start to see you bringing quality gear in, they will stop renting that other stuff. And that's what I've experienced by using furniture. When they see me come in with it, they're like, oh, you have that. Oh, okay, never mind then. Yeah, just use your stuff. And then that's just one less thing they have to rent. So do they come into play? Yes. Is it a make or break? No. Okay. After going to DJ Expo, how do you feel about crate hackers now? People are funny, and I mean this in a positive way. Have you used the drive rack on any of your systems? I used to have drive racks on every one of my systems. I have not been using drive racks for my powered systems because the majority of them. What do you think all those what's the word I'm looking for? All of those profiles are. It's just doing what the drive rack does. So why would I need a drive rack to do what a drive rack does when there's like a drive rack in the system already? So no, I don't use drive racks for that. But I used to use them for all my passive systems, and they were amazing. Okay, but how do I feel about crate hackers now? I feel exactly the same way I felt before about crate hackers. I don't have a problem with crate hackers. Okay, and I've, full disclosure, I've already been on Crate Hackers 3.0. I was on 3.0 in the beginning. You know, I've been on their beta system. But I've never had a problem with Crate Hackers. But there's a time and a place for it. And that's why the video, which I assume you watched, kind of shows. Hopefully you've watched it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Okay. I was going to get the M3 Pro with 18 gigs of memory, 512 storage. After listening, I think it will go with the M3 Max 48 gigs, 1 terabyte. Okay, so you don't need all of that, DJ Chef. In all honesty, if you were to do any upgrades, 32 is more than enough. There will be no DJ program that 32 gigs is not gonna just, be amazing on. Okay, you can do 48. That's fine, especially if you're doing video work or, you're doing anything that requires more, and you're doing audio, like, oh, I'm a producer and I have all these virtual plugins and all that stuff. Then yes, obviously, the more you have, or you want to cache it off, you want to cache all those sounds that you have onto the RAM, then it makes sense. But if you're not doing any of that stuff, I have a 32 gigabyte MacBook Pro. Mine's a 32, 2 terabytes, M1. I haven't had a single problem with it. Single problem. And I won't be upgrading this M1, this one that's right here. I will not be upgrading this M1 until one thing happens, and two things. I've said this before, a lot of you know, but for you that don't know, 2 things will get me to upgrade my MacBook. 2 things and 2 things only. One, they put Face ID into the screen. So when I open up my MacBook, it just logs me in. That's the one thing. And 2, and this can supersede 1. Okay. If they make a MacBook Pro 14 battery that will last twice as long. So right now, MacBook Pro 14 battery lasts about 4 hours and like 15 minutes at maximum efficiency. All right. 4 hours, 15, maybe 4 hours, 20. If I can get 8 hours normal, like the 16 can get like 12 to 16 hours. It's incredible. But I don't even need 8 hours. If I can get 6 hours on maximum, If I can get 16 or 6 on maximum power, I'm good. I'm good. Just DJ on your phone works for Luke. Good for Luke. You know, like, I know people want me to be angry at people. I get it. You know, people are like, come on, man. Let's hear what you really think. I really think that I'm almost 50, and I'm finally coming to grips with the fact that I'm almost 50, and I don't care. I think people go one of two ways when they're dealing with age. Either they go crazy and start complaining about everything, or they just stop caring about unnecessary BS. That's me. I don't care. If Luke wants to walk around with his iPhone and a little ass controller and do everything in transport modes and syncing, more power to him. I saw him at the DJ X. He was fine. Again, I don't have a problem with it. And if he wants to, be on that hill, rah-rahing the reloop, look, if somebody made a controller for me, right? And it was exactly the way I wanted a controller to be. Am I going to really care? Am I going to really care what anybody else thinks? Or am I going to be thinking, if they made a controller specifically for me, am I going to be thinking, well, what if another DJ wants this? They made it for him. Because had they made it for me, in all honesty, there would have been some things I would have changed on it. It could, because I'm not thinking just for me. I'm gonna be like, okay, well, what if, look, people are going to need to have at least 1/4 inch outputs, right? They're going to need, if possible, if we can get XLRs, they're going to need that, right? Who makes anything called Pro and has RCA outs only? So, again, it was a product for him. It was kind of like, Rain made that 62, the Z track 62, which was purple and gray, and it wasn't for me. Okay, bottom line, wasn't for me. But Z-Trip loved it, had his name on it. Actually, the only signature hardware that I've ever truly loved, the only one, is A-Track's Rain 70. The only one. That's an amazing controller. That was the first time where I was like, they thought about this. Good job, A-Track. Only one. Everything else, I'm like, I'm good. But I would definitely own a Rain 70 A-Track edition. Absolutely. All right. Jason in the building. What's going on, fam? I use Xstand with pre-configured flight case and a facade in over a decade, but recently moved to the Bun Booth Command Center and will never go back. Takes a little more room, but same setup. Yeah. You're right. And I haven't personally used the Bun Booth. I use the Max Design one. Same concept though. Once you pre-wire everything in, once you get everything the way you want to, because I think a lot of the times, a lot of people never get truly comfortable with products because they're always looking for the next product, or they're always trying to, oh, what if I do this? Or I'm going to try this instead. And once I said, never mind, I'm going to rewire this whole thing. I'm going to make it work for me. And that's it. I just kept everything in there. Everything got easier. Everything. So, same thing, whether you use a Bun Booth or whether you use a Max Design booth, the trick is to get everything pre-wired in there, and then it's so fast. The setup is so fast. The breakdown is so fast. It's amazing. It's amazing. So absolutely do that. Okay. Just use the Rain 70 normal with DJ. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, hey, use whatever you want. You get what I'm saying? Use whatever you want. I know a lot of people. This is true, Philip. Absolutely. I know a lot of people want approval for the things that they have. I get that. And but it shouldn't matter. If you like something and it works for you, then use it. But, let's flip the table around. That also means that just because you like something doesn't mean that everybody else is. And you have to be okay with that. I am okay with the fact that I know there's certain things that I gravitate to, and there are certain things that just completely turn me off. I've said it before. I am the first person that will not like a piece of gear because of the colorware. Like if it's something that I don't like to look at, I'm not going to use it. I don't care how good it is. Now, maybe I put an overlay over it and we call it that way. Fine. But there are certain things that just don't work for me. And everybody has those little nagging things that just, they're like, oh, I don't like this. It is what it is. A lot of people, like the Rain Performer is a perfect example. A lot of people are like, I don't like this, or I don't like that. It's too busy, whatever. But people have been watching, me do videos, and they've been watching other people, and they're like, how long did it take you to get used to the way it is? Because I've said it myself. The Rain Performer, as great as it is a bigger controller, and it can look busy. Okay. Because there's so much going on. There's so many buttons on there, but as you start to use it more and more, and it took me probably, I want to say it was like the third event of using it where I was like, okay, you're spending too much time looking at everything and not looking at the things you need. Once you can kind of, hone in on those things, then it's fine. But I get it. People look at a Rev 7 and they're like, oh, well, there's not as many buttons. There's not as many knobs. Absolutely. They're two different controllers, but there are some things that are on the Performer that just having those extra buttons there make things a lot easier, and you don't have to MIDI map. And now that it works with DJ, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Performer, and I'm a big fan of the Rev 7, and two can exist. You get what I'm saying? Now I've said it. I think Rain's in a good place. I think they're getting into a nice groove. And I think we can only optimistically get better products in the future. That's what I think. I think they get it now. I do. Do you use stem split much? That's a good question, DJ Lab. Yes and no. Now that I know how to use stem split, now that I know, the double touch on the stem split brings everything back, because that was the biggest thing for me. I didn't want to get locked into a song that was just randomly playing on my fourth channel, but I am not I'm not that kind of a battle routine DJ. So for me, that stem split is something that you want to use. You want to do something with it. So when you split, that means I'm going to scratch this. I'm going to loop this. I'm going to do this. I use stem split sparingly, but it's definitely a good thing, but I use it sparingly. It's the same thing with stem EQ. I barely use stem EQ. I'm so used to having my isolators be EQs versus stem that it bothers me. It just bothers me a little bit, bottom line here. I know that on Virtual DJ, they put the stem EQ when they split it to where you have control on the other EQ, so it doesn't get in the way. I kind of like that. Yeah, but it's good. Stem split is good. I mean, if you're gonna have a 4-channel, that makes the most sense. I think Algorithm DJ needs to add some of the things that Serato does to make some of the hardware work the way it's intended. Okay, so I will ask you this question, Jason, because I thought the same thing. Give me just a couple of things that DJ does that you think, or DJ doesn't do that Serato does. Just put them in the chat. Okay. I'm going to go back up and see, Devel in the building. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I try to help when I can. All right. Edge says, what think, I assume, what do you think of YouTuber DJs putting their client on the spot and asking for a review? I don't think it's just YouTube DJs. I think it's any social media. I think that it's 100% a good selling tool. What I do specifically is I ask them, hey, I want to shoot a, God, my brain is a little dead today. I want to shoot a quick review, and do you mind taking a video real quick? That's what I say every time. And I've never had a person say no to me, so if they're, hey, excuse me, and they turn around, what did you think of my service? And then they're forced to review. Well, that's trash. That's trash. I would not do that to my client, because you respect your client, and the fact that you want them to give you a review, and by you asking them, they can actually prepare something in their mind that sounds intelligent, not like, hey, let me ask my drunk client a quick question about me. So for me, I wouldn't personally, unless they were aware in the first place. Super chats get love, but memberships don't. It is not about you, Ruben. And okay, we'll talk about this for a minute. All right, Ruben. The last 2 videos I have put out have been members only for 24 hours. The first one was more like 18 hours, but the second one I put out on the exact same time. That's members only. The Bun Booth, not Bun Booth, like the Crate Hackers one. That was 24-hour. So I do think about you guys when I make content. Okay? Just haters everywhere. Can anyone advise me on what to use on my speaker pole with the speaker lean to one side? Okay, I think somebody answered that. Also, make sure that your speakers aren't too heavy for your poles. That's also a thing. Because they will put pressure on, like the JBL SRXs. You can't use just your everyday pole. You have to go out and buy the JBL versions, the heavy duty versions, or they will lean. Lean with it, rock with it. Okay. I answered those. How do you prevent people from causing feedback with the mics supporting 6 months, Ruben? Damn, man, you don't. You know what? One day I will have like an assistant rocking through all the comments, but I am just one person. You're going to have to just support me because you want to support me. Sometimes things are going to get missed. Can't win with you people. Okay. How do you prevent feedback? Watch your volumes. That's the key here. The higher your volume is on your microphone, the more likely you're going to get feedback. So if you have to adjust for that person, chances are you're going to get feedback. So prevent them from causing feedback by moving them physically. Hey, Mr., Mrs., I'm going to need you to move more towards the middle of the dance floor. You don't stand in front. I don't know what it is about people. Why, for whatever reason, when they're talking on a microphone, it's like the laws of the universe, like gravity is like sucking them in towards the speaker. Every time you give them a microphone, they're in the middle, they will walk towards the edge of right in front of the speaker. Why do they need to hear themselves so well? So you got to move them. That's it. There are feedback reducers on a lot of hardware now, which is another thing why using your controller may come into play, and using the mics directly from your controller versus going into a mixer, because a lot of those mixers don't have feedback reducers. They do on the controllers. So there's another plus. But yes, position them away. Obviously, if somebody's on a microphone and you have point source speakers, turn them away from them So it's not getting that feedback. But a lot of times people are getting feedback, especially nowadays, because they're using column array systems. And column array systems have this dispersion that hits everywhere. So for those people, if you got column arrays, move them away from the column arrays. Have them go to the edge of the dance floor, have them back up, or move your column arrays when they are there. So it's as much out of the way as possible. Okay. All right. That is the last thing I can answer before the system stops. All right. Kenny says the Yamaha MG06 sounds good. Okay, there you go. Yes, but also there are the other side where they think that, like, you know, I mean, how many people have you had? You know, this is the microphone right here, and you give them the microphone, you say, hold it up to their mouth, and they go, okay. And then they start talking down here. Now you got to turn the microphone up, and now you're getting, you know, feedback issues. So, yeah, people aren't smart. That's why you're the professional. How many times has somebody been on the microphone and you've turned them so loud, and you get back on the microphone, you got to turn it to like 40% of what it was? They don't know how to use a microphone. This is something that we have created, guys. We have figured out how to use a microphone correctly. We have figured out how to talk from our diaphragm and project sound. Everybody else doesn't. Everybody else is all up here. This is everybody else when they talk. When I'm on a microphone, right now, hear that? That's because as I am talking from here. This is where I'm talking from on the microphone. So when you stop, you finally relax and you realize you can relax. And now I'm up here. Okay? What's the difference? It's just learning how to talk correctly on the microphone. Get it in there. And the more you can talk from your diaphragm, the less you are going to have throat wear on your parties. And you won't walk home and your voice is just gone because you've been screaming up here and not from your diaphragm. But we're professionals and they're not. Okay. If I didn't mention Jeff 1, thank you so much. I think I did, but thank you so much for the super chat. If I didn't mention you. Okay, let's see what Mex said was the issue. You go back up here. Okay. Dynamic, obviously. Although the crossfade effects are not as I'm not using them nearly as much as I thought I would, in all honesty. Because I need to go in there and really customize them. Hopefully they'll come out with some customization. Because even with like the fader effects, you know, let's say it pulls out the it pulls out the EQ, you know, like it just drops them out, or the stems or whatever. Sometimes I feel like it pulls out too much. And I know it's how much you move the crossfader. I just think it just pulls out too much. So for me, I tend to only use them in very specific settings. But if I could customize those, and maybe I can. Again, still using DJ, still trying to do it. The dynamic beat grids are single-handedly the best thing about DJ. I have never. And this can backfire too. So I want you to understand this. It's not perfect, but in general, it makes okay DJs considerably better because they're always dropping on the one. Even when they're not dropping on the one, they're dropping on the one. And what I mean by that is because power outage. What I mean by that is because if I drop on a beat, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and I drop right there, DJ will move you back to the beat you're supposed to be on. And because of the dynamic beat grids, if you're, I mean, just using dynamic beat grids in 70s and 60s music is life-changing. the fact that I don't have to think about the song, which I know is going to go out of sync, and it doesn't go out of sync. That alone, that is amazing. Is amazing. But I have experienced times where I'm dropping something on the one, and for whatever reason, the beat grids, or at least the analysis for the beat grid, puts it in a different speed for like one bar, and then it drops to the regular speed. Like I had one song in particular, I don't remember the song. I took a picture, I gotta pull it up. But as I was dropping the song, I'm looking at him, hitting the cue point, I'm looking at the song. The song was at like 104, right? But for whatever reason, that first part of the song, it kept jumping to like 121. And then after that bar, it dropped back down to 1. So what does that do? Well, when you're loading up a song, when you're dropping the song, because it's adjusting to it, and you're at 104 and it's thinking, it's at 126, it's going to slow that thing down dramatically, to try to compensate for it. And then it's fine again. So there are little things like that. Nothing's perfect. That's why I'm saying there's no such thing as a perfect software, but it does some really cool things so far. And, I know this big question that I've been having lately is, oh, well, I guess you're going to get rid of Serato now. I never said that. I went an entire year with Rekordbox DJ, an entire year before moving back to Serato. When the DDJ 1000 first came out, I was on Rekordbox for basically a year. So if there's anything that is not been announced, guys, I will not speak on it. Anything. I have NDAs, so I won't speak on it. But you're more than welcome to. I just can't. Anyway, yeah, so there's no perfect software. I'm going to use this one. Once they come out with an actual cloud syncing for my iPad, so all my stuff is synced together and I don't have to like plug in my computer and do all that stuff. Kids, I cannot personally bring something up and say whatever. I'm just gonna let it go. And go from there just to protect myself. So once they come out with that, am I locked in? I mean, look, there are some things that even DJ does right now that I'm like, I don't love that. I like it more the way they do it in Serato, but it's becoming few and far between, in all honesty. But if Serato, I mean, one of the things is Apple Music. I'm an Apple Music guy. So the fact that it does Apple Music, it's kind of pulling me over, in all honesty, because it does Apple Music. But the one thing that, if Serato could come out with, and I don't even care about the adjustable beat grids. We're all professional DJs here, guys. Like we've been doing it for decades. We can continue to. But the one thing I will say is, if they can do the multiple streaming services, I wouldn't leave. That's a big deal. I'm trying to think of the things that, like, I look at DJ, they need a visual update. DJ just looks really good. They need to improve their database, the speed of their database. But like, this is a perfect example right here. Okay. Perfect example. Here's DJ. All right. Actually, we'll go Serato Studio first. Okay. Here, I'm gonna put a clock on, and then I have 5 minutes, and then I got to go to my next meeting. But clock, stopwatch. Okay, here we go. Serato DJ, stopwatch. Nope. Start. All right. Add on like what, 4 seconds? 4 or 5 seconds? Now, I know that not everybody's Serato starts up this slow, but this is mine. Okay. And I don't even have it looking at iTunes for the record. Okay. We are at almost 30. We're actually over 30 seconds. All right. Still got the beach ball. No, I'm not running too much shit. It's not even close. And I'll prove it. Okay. We're finally up. All right. That was about 50 seconds. All right. Give or take. Sometimes it's a little faster. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and just ignore this. All right. DJ. And we'll hit start and start. And we're done. That was 10 seconds. So it's little things like that, you know, I mean, that's what we're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Yeah. And visually compared to, hold on, let me just load this in. Hold on, let me just put something else in here. There we go. Okay. All right. And all right. All right. Algorithm DJ. All right. Crisp, clean. Now, of course, it can be as busy as you want it to be, obviously adding on everything, but we don't need any of that stuff. And then Serato's fine. It's just, I mean, it's a little outdated. Time for some updates. But it's been tried and true. And that's the key. You know, Serato always works. Yes, DJ starts up that fast with hardware in. Yes, absolutely. Check to see if it's a stem delay. I don't need to check. There is a stem delay. There's a stem delay. You must have just gotten here. It is I don't want to say it's a known thing, but for whatever reason, there is a slight stem delay. And it's literally about 1 beat delay from when you press the button to when it activates. So doom, 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 stem. As opposed to right on the 1 in Serato. Okay. Yes. I have a lot more than that. Yeah, I mean, legitimately, none of them, okay. So just clarify something though. Okay. It's okay to have them all on. It is not okay to try to run them simultaneously. So right now I can do that because I have no hardware plugged in. But if I had hardware plugged in and let's say I was running Serato and then I opened up like virtual DJ, it will try to take over and then you're screwed on both sides. So they just can't be up together at the same time. That's it. All right. Last minute. No thoughts. I have no thoughts. Let's see here. Better libraries search. Exactly. Now, to be fair, what I really need is a crate search. I need to be able to search my crates. That's what I need. That's the most important thing to me. A crate search. Give me that. And it'd be nice to be able to right click and be able to kind of see, where else the file is in a playlist, not just on like your hard drive. See, like here, if I right click, I can add to queue, I can analyze, I can show info, I can load, but it won't tell me what folder it is. Virtual DJ and Record Box both do that. So, like I said, there is no perfect, there's no perfect software. Not one perfect software. Now, the trick is to get close enough to the side. One of the other things that, I can smart crate with colors. I suppose that sounds okay. But like, I don't love how my Q is over here. That bothers me. I would prefer to be higher. I also want to be able to see more information from there. Like, I just wish it had more information. I wish it treated the Q like it treats the music, like in Serato. If I queue something up here, Command P, and we'll even let me. Where's my prepare folder? Huh. Do I not have a prepare folder in when it's offline? No, I'm sorry. I'm being stupid. Thank you. Okay, see what happens when you use too many pieces, too many software? You just it all starts to merge together. Okay, but I have here, song, artist. If I have any comments right here, BPM, key, like all of these little things, I like to have access to. This one, it's there, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's just, it's just a visual thing. That's all. It's just a visual thing. All right. And everybody's different. But those are things I can get used to. Everything that's going on right now, I'm getting used to. I do like looking at DJ though. I'm not going to lie. It just looks good. It's clean. One thing I couldn't get to work though, I couldn't get to work auto mix. When I was trying to auto mix from the Rev 7, it told me the hardware won't allow for audio mixing. Has anybody else experienced that? Let me know, because I got that when it was weird, but it was like, oh, you can't use auto mix with this hardware or something like that. Did I miss something? I'll wait for that one, and then I'm out of here. Anyway, all right, let me see what my next call is, which I got to get on right now. Let's see. Eisenstein. Oh, she's my only one. Maybe it's a crossfader being MIDI mapped. Oh, maybe that's what it is. That could be possible. Andrew. Yeah, but that was kind of annoying to me because, what is this? All right. So in Serato, it doesn't have an auto mix, but it does have an auto play, which is located right down here. All I got to do is click it, and at a minimum, it will at least, go through the playlist. But auto mix, it'll take your playlist that you're using, and you can load it in from there. It's a little aggressive. I'm not going to lie. Auto mixes. I was playing it for pre-wedding ceremony, and I had the song on, and oh my God, it felt like it was after every like 40 seconds. So I gotta drop that down to like 10 seconds. I don't want it trying to do my job. You know what I mean? I just wanted to flow nicely from song to song, but it was fast. Anyway, but that was only on my iPad, or it was on my computer, but I didn't have anything plugged in. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that part out. Anyway, besides, but it's a good software so far. I do have some things, and I have some fixes for people that are using it and are potentially getting frustrated, like I was in the beginning for a lot of things, which maybe we'll talk about next week. But by that time, once I need to do 2 more things, and then I'm done. Christus says, DJ is evolving software, slow going, I'm sure, but they will get there. I don't use DJ, haven't looked deep into it. Yeah, DJ, look, I mean, yes and no. they're an evolving software. They're all evolving. You know what I mean? Like they're all adding stuff to it. I mean, Serato didn't put stems in because they were thinking about it. They put stems in because virtual DJ and algorithm DJ came out with stems, you know? So it's evolving, but once you start, you can evolve when you're just a hobby piece of tech. Okay. Once you start to become a professional piece of tech, your evolution has to be faster. So I think they're starting to understand that at the rate that they're releasing, gear updates to be able to work with DJ. So I think it's important. Yes and no. I mean, they always had one for Mac. They've always had a desktop program for Mac. But yes, they were mainly for their phone when they used to have the ugly. No, you know what? The Mac came after, but it wasn't far from when they had it. Do I still have DJ on my phone? Yeah, it's back when it used to look like. They need to stop making me sign into Apple Music when I'm legitimately signed into Apple Music on like 40 devices. All right, come on. Continue. Face ID. See, this is why Face ID is such a godsend. I'm happy that Furiosa is coming to Max tonight. I will be watching that. And tomorrow, what's today? Thursday? If I get a chance, I'm gonna try to do Furiosa, not Furiosa. I'm gonna try to do Romulus, Alien Romulus. Is that what it's called? Alien Romulus? But it used to have, I mean, they still have it, but they used to have the little record things, the stupid classic. Yeah. That guy, which I could care less about. But, you know, it was great. Okay. Jason Craig says, and this is my last question, then I'm out. On the Rain 4, you can't stack hot cues and stems or samples or loops on Rain 70. I would love to see the BPM on the little screen just for the most notable settings on the Rain 4. Are we talking about with DJ? I got to assume you can't stack hot cues and stems. I don't know. I haven't tried that. I'd like to keep my hot cues. So, but I understand what you're saying. You're saying have the hot cues up top and then the stems right underneath it. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a MIDI mapping. Why don't you just MIDI map it? Because every button is just a note. So you can go in there and just MIDI map it. And then you get the best of both worlds, you know? So anyway, all right, I got to run, guys. But thank you for your time. As always, I appreciate everybody for hanging out today. As always, you guys are a highlight of my week. Highlight. But it's now time to get on these calls that I'm late for right now, but they'll survive. And I don't even know, my Stream Deck is not activated at the moment. So I have, oh, there we go. So I have no way of going. Okay. So thank you guys for hanging out today. Appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like on your way out, and make sure you're following me on all my socials, because absolutely, some of the content comes from what you guys talk about. All right. Got to go. See you guys soon. Enjoy your week. Have great parties this weekend. I will be testing out this weekend the Maestro. I will be testing out the Phoenix Pro microphone extenders. They're little I don't know, wavetable things, or their antenna, wave antennas, whatever you want to call them. I will be testing those out, and I will be testing out the Rain Performer as long as my L bracket power cord, IEC cord comes. That's it. All right, y'all. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Have great parties. Peace out.